Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back to the Uncle Sharma channel. Sorry that I was late. I had a few internet issues. It was the internet was playing up. I had to restart the router, all them things there. But it's all good. It's all good. We live, baby. We live. And today it's a funny stream because the pain just seems to continue for Interisti, doesn't it? The pain just keeps going on and on and on. But it's always fun to share it with you guys, and you guys have been so active in the chat, man. You guys have been killing it. You guys using it like a Discord chat. some of you got jokes. Some of you got jokes. Where is it? People are telling me that people are saying that Zhang sold me. That I've left Inter as well. Where is it? Where is it? Well, everyone's going mad in the comments as well, of course, as expected, as things have been going. Where are you? Sean was like, is this live stream worth doing? Looks like Sharma got sold too. Uncle Sharma is in China to meet Zhang and give him the middle finger. Might have to catch a flight, listening to the Sharma got the call from Zhang to sell his channel. Yeah, I got 50 rupees offer and I couldn't turn it down, unfortunately. Uncle Sharma probably got an offer to host a PSG channel. PSG weekly videos. Hey, you guys got jokes, man. You guys got jokes. I have to give it to you, but it's funny. It's funny. I've never seen the chat going off like this before I've even started the video. There's like 26 people of you in here already, and yeah, man. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys just kicking it all off. Hey, we got Akash here as well, my guy from Instagram as well. What's up, bro? Good to catch you on the live stream. How's everyone doing, man? Apart from Inter, I hope everyone's doing well in their personal lives and everything else. There's a life outside of football and Inter as well, which I hope everyone's doing well in. Yeah, we'll talk about the Lautaro stuff. Everyone's mentioning stuff. Someone needs to organize a group hug for Inter fans. Yeah, we need a group therapy session. We saw, like, if you guys follow Inter Worldwide, we did a live stream a couple of days ago, like 3 days ago, talking about this whole situation. There was about 4 or 5 of us, to check it out on Inter Worldwide's channel. Negative career mode for Inter, Pashu and Tassim. I am clueless. Yeah, now that banner, that marketing campaign, the slogan that Inter set up, the I am Milano, I am Inter, now is looking a bit, it's looking like a free hit. Everyone's just coming up with different hits, like I am clueless, I am idiot, I am broke, all that kind of stuff. And that's what happens with some of these slogans. You have to be careful. Some of them can turn out to be, to fire against you, in some way. You can't stop feel betrayed by Romelu. Hey man, yeah, let's talk. That's the first thing I want to talk about in today's live stream, to kind of say goodbye to Romelu Lukaku, because it's pretty much done. All the sources now indicating 115 million euros is the final figure without any bonuses. Straight up 150 million cash. Romano, Di Marzio, they're all reporting that one now. Whereas before, it looked like it was going to be 130, Inter needed 130 or even 150, we were saying it could go up to, which would have sounded, especially in the state that we are now, we're trying to get most money as possible. But 115 almost sounds a little bit on the cheaper side, but again, still is the record fee for a player sold from the Serie A to outside of the Serie A. So it beats the Pogba, it beats the Zidane. I don't know. I guess probably the inflation and all those things. I think Ronaldo and things still probably work out around those kind of figures. But yeah, for straight up the amount of money that Lukaku's going for, this is the record fee. But it seems like we still could have got a little bit more. It still could have got 120, 130 definitely. But again, and this is why it seems like some of you guys may feel a little bit betrayed by Lukaku. In the end, you can say what you want, that Inter, and it's true, guys, in the media trying to portray that Lukaku is the one who chose it. They didn't want to sell him, he was untouchable, all this kind of stuff. But in the end, from the headquarters to Suning Zhang in China, Nanjing, it came, the diktat came, the order came to sell Lukaku when this big offer comes. they said to Lukaku, look, this offer is too big for us to turn down. What do you think? And he was obviously, more money, get that, redemption at Chelsea, the club they supported when he was younger, where he didn't get the chance, the exposure. Rock Nation, because his PR company is all his image rights, they're all managed by Rock Nation, the company owned by Jay-Z. They push for this move to Chelsea. So there's a few cogs that are not being talked about in this move. But I've heard from a few sources that Rock Nation pushed for this move for Lukaku because obviously going back to the Premier League, whatever you want to say about the Premier League, we make fun of the Premier League here on this channel, but Premier League is the league with the most eyes on it, the most exposure, the most money, the most fans, everything. And Rock Nation as the PR firm, as for the image of Lukaku, I haven't checked his Instagram numbers and figures, but I'm sure the soon as the move will be announced, or even now in the build up to it, his followers and his following is going up as we speak. His name, his brand recognition goes up even more. His price goes up even more. His salary is almost doubled. He goes from 7.5, around 8 million net at Inter to around 12, 13 at Chelsea from what the reports are, plus bonuses. Pastorello, his agent as well, he's not been talked about, but he's a little piece of work. That guy, he's a little piece of work. That Pastorello guy, his agent, he's the one who has been working behind the scenes to make this happen. And obviously, he's gonna get a big fat commission from this whole move. Federico Pastorello, if you don't know about him, he's got a few players in the Inter's squad that he manages, and his influence is growing. In recent years, he's getting a few bigger players. And if you may remember, a few weeks ago, he was at Inter HQ, and he said he was there for Keita Balde. But I think this guy was chatting BS. This guy was there for Lukaku already. I think 2 or 3 weeks back when he said he was there to talk about Keita Balde. But I reckon he already was planting the seeds for this Lukaku move and the Chelsea offer, because these moves don't happen this quickly, guys. These 100+ million moves, these moves take time. So there's something being in the works probably for a few weeks now that we didn't know about. But yeah, I am disappointed that he left, as you guys said. But fuck Jay-Z, he took a ROM from us. Yeah, man. The Hove, man, the legendary rapper. But yeah, I mean, Rom said that Jay-Z also convinced him for the move to Inter. So let's not forget, he seemed like he had some sort of influence in Rom. Obviously, he doesn't know anything about soccer, as he would call it. But I think Jay-Z, what he said to Lukaku was, if you feel like this is the right move for you, for your career, you should make it. And yeah, Lukaku did say that he was an influence. And I'm sure on this one, Jay-Z wouldn't probably have heard about, knows more about the Premier League than he probably does Serie A. So I'm sure he probably suggested something in terms of that. But if you guys as disappointed with Lukaku, I am as well. But at the end of the day, as I said, more money, more exposure, more chances of winning trophy. Especially, let's not forget, I tweeted, and I've been saying this on my channel. If you follow me on this channel for a while, you'll heard of me saying this even when things were going well. If Conte leaves, I said Lukaku is probably going to go, and Hakimi, because those two guys literally came for Conte. Lukaku would never have been at Inter without Conte. Even if Inter were interested in him, they wouldn't have pushed for him. And I was surprised when Inter signed Lukaku for 75 million euros 2 years ago. I was surprised as hell. I didn't think we had the juice like that. I didn't think we had the money like that. I didn't think we had the pull like that. So that was a surprise, and that was particularly due to Conte pushing for him. Like, this guy was twerking for Lukaku. Let's not forget. And I think the first summer that Conte got here, if he didn't get Lukaku in that summer, I think he would have gone that summer. Conte, the way he was moving, like almost every press conference, he was talking about Lukaku. He talked about how he wanted him at Chelsea as well and wasn't able to get him. So I think Conte would have gone if Lukaku didn't come, and he wanted him so badly. He got him, and then he worked on him. I haven't seen a player transformation like this in a long time in terms of physically, the work him and Pintus did on Lukaku, and then also technically improving with his back to goal play, link up play, everything, his mentality as well. And as soon as Conte left, I was worried about this because when you're a player, you join a club for a specific manager and he leaves, you always obviously gonna have that doubt. And I'm sure Conte, as we're finding out now, there was a reason why Conte left. Some of us doubted in some saying, "Oh, look, he only left. You only sold Hakimi. Why are you leaving? Like, really, after just one player selling and you're leaving?" But now we're seeing why Conte left, and he obviously knew that this was happening. This was what was happening behind the scenes. He probably asked the questions. They were like, "What if an offer comes for Lukaku? Are you going to sell him?" And Steven Zhang probably said to him, "Yeah, we're going to sell him, bro. If we get 100 million, he's gone." So he was like, "Yeah, okay, that's it." Then it's not just about Hakimi. We're seeing like Suning are really, really putting Inter up for a fire sale, and this is what it is at the moment. And I found the perfect tweet, guys, to signify what's going on at Inter at the moment. It's funny, but it will also make you cry if you're an Inter fan. Look at this. Shout out to @bronzo77 _ on Twitter. Amazon Prime Day Inter edition. As I said, I'm laughing right now, but inside I'm crying, and the more I look at it, I want to cry. First of all, Prime Day offerta on the Prime Day offer, Hakimi, free delivery, of course. Prime Day, next day delivery. Price that we suggest 90 million, the RRP, but actual price 60 million euros. Here Lukaku, the RRP under 30 million, actual price under 15. And now we'll get onto the Lautaro rumors as well, but now yeah, we're moving on to Lautaro as well. This is what it's like at being Inter now. It feels like we're a supermarket, we're this shopping aisle that's like all the big clubs in Europe, or particularly the Premier League clubs and PSG, are looking at with the Birdman hand rub, the tongue coming out, licking their lips when they look at the Inter squad, seeing what they could grab their hands on. And this is what's happening at the moment, guys. There was some fake news shared about Inter liquidation the other day, that some accounts really just took off with, and I saw so many retweets and these Lad Bible, Footy Bible type accounts reposting. Is not liquidation in terms of those financial terms that when you liquidate a club, that's what happened to Jiangsu Suning. They were liquidated, but this is a footballing liquidation in terms of you selling all the best players. If you're selling the Scudetto winning team, you could call this a liquidation, to be honest. This is Black Friday. Like, this is sad to see, man. This is sad to see. And I never thought it would get this bad. Like, I was one of the few, I'm not taking credit. I'm just saying, like, I was seeing the signs already, because I always read the financial reports from Inter every single season. I'd read Bloomberg and these financial news and publications around Suning and stuff. And I was telling people already, if you remember, get ready for a bad summer, get ready for a summer of pain. But I did not expect it to be this bad. I did not expect the squad to be potentially being cleared out like in the way that it is at the moment. I mean, I'm scared about what's happening at the moment. The signs, what's happening to Jiangsu Suning, the liquidation, is this what's happening to our Inter? Is this what's happening to our beloved Inter? Is this what Suning is moving towards? Because they're in such trouble at home, and it's their fault, obviously, because things like financially are not being well done for them. They expanded too quickly in China. Maybe we can do a video about this as well to explain to you guys really what happened to Suning and why, Inter feeling the effects of it. But yeah, like, whenever I read reports now, in the past I would rubbish them. Even at the beginning of the Lukaku ones, I was like, it's fine, he's gonna stay. I was convinced he was gonna stay. But now whenever something comes out, I'm like, probably could be. I don't even know. I'll read something about De Vrij, Everton. Maybe, yeah, maybe they'll sell him. Lautaro, okay, we could quickly speak about Lautaro. I am for sale. There you go. There's another pun that you could use. I wish the Moratti. Now, guys, let me quickly touch upon this before I go move on to the Lautaro thing, because I've seen a lot about this Moratti. Yes, Moratti, the best president Inter have ever had. No arguments there. No competition. But remember towards the end of the tenure of Moratti. So Moratti runs a company called Saras, Saras. They're an oil refinery company, if I'm not mistaken. You can search them up. And you search up their revenue at the golden era when Inter were doing well and Moratti was doing well. And then after just before the triplete season and after that, you look at the revenues of that company afterwards and you look at how Inter sold the team after that. And then you can draw parallels of what's happening there. And remember, like, guys, we back then we made the mistake of keeping players too much. If not, like, at the triplete season, we kept, Maicon, Milito, all these guys, even though they had offers and they were already in their 30s and probably declining, but we kept those guys on big contracts. Some of them even got heavy, nice renewals. And then obviously we saw what happened to the team. There was no other investment from the team because at that time Moratti was broke as well. He couldn't. That's what happens when you're broke. You can't actually spend money that you don't have. Then we sold. You remember Eto even left for Anzi Makachakla or whatever what that Russian club was called. And Eto was our best player, and he was sold for peanuts. And then Schneider left for Galatasaray. Like, let's not forget Moratti towards the end of the tenure when Moratti didn't have that financial power to flex. He couldn't do anything either. Inter was in free fall, and then he sold it to pretty much the first guy that came up to offer, Eric Tohir. So when you say the Moratti family, I understand there's that emotional connection that we all love Moratti, man. That guy as a man as well. So many players speak about him on a personal level, like as a gentleman, the way he treated Adriano. Always speaks on how he helped him with his depression. Didn't even ask for his payoff fee. Like, he literally just let Adriano go for free, cancel his contract, even though Adriano would have had to pay something for that to happen. But Moratti said no. There's so many stories of Moratti doing things like that. But that was when Moratti was at the peak of his powers, when he was doing well. And Suning, when they came in, let's not forget, when Suning came in, like just a couple of seasons ago, when we finally were out of the shackles of the financial fair play, let's not forget, Suning came in and we still had those financial fair play parameters to abide by. Auxilio had to work magic every summer with plus valenzas and youth products to sell for inflated prices. But then let's not forget, Suning, when finally, Auxilio, Marotta had, money to spend and there was no more shackles. Conte, massive salary, biggest salary paid in Serie A. 13 million or 11 million rising to 12, 13 million net per season. Like, mad money. That's crazy money. Double the next guy, like when Allegri was there. And then afterwards, it was like triple the next best coach. So big money invested there. Then they got him Pintus, they got him Moriali, everyone that they wanted. And they, as I said, I didn't even think we had the juice to get someone like Lukaku, 75 million. Lukaku, Barella, the best Italian talent, or one of the best Italian talents at that time. 45 million to Cagliari. Boom, done. We wanted to have a little bit, Marotta and Auxilio wanted to have a little bit more of a younger core to the team, but Conte said, no, I want these like Vidals, I want the Kolarovs, I want these guys on high wages. Okay, fine, take them. We'll get these high wages on for you. Even when, this last summer, there wasn't really much room to negotiate. There was already those issues with the Suning, but it still, got him the guys that he wanted, even though it was difficult. So let's not forget, guys, when Suning had those couple of years of being actually able to invest, they did those things that, PSG and Man City are doing, like filtering their money through sponsoring their own training ground, Suning training center, increasing the revenues a little bit artificially just to be able to do that. Like, they pumped a lot of money into Inter. So the narrative is a little bit, I'm not being like, protecting Suning, but you have to see facts are facts. Suning invested a lot of money into Inter. It wasn't just their like vanity project. Like, they really did want to take Inter back to, glory years. But did they stretch themselves too much? Did they do too much too soon? And obviously the business, as we said, with Moratti, when his own business started to not go well. This is what happening to Suning now. Their own business, their own Suning.com, Suning real estate in China, everything. They're in big trouble. They've had a bailout from the Chinese government, where a big percentage of their business is now owned by the Chinese government. Alibaba owns part of the business now. Zhang Jingdong, the guy, the chairman, into the Steven Zhang's dad. He's been removed as the chairman of that Suning, not the whole Suning pie, but one of the arms of Suning. I think it was just the Suning.com part. So they're in trouble, guys. They're in trouble. So they're having to panic in all parts of their business, not just Inter. And we're Inter now. We're feeling the effects, but Moratti, yeah, always love, but just you have to think about different facets, different factors, guys. When you're talking about if Moratti comes in now, his business now, he wouldn't be able to do much either now. Moratti, he's nowhere. His power is nowhere near. He's still a big Inter fan. He's rumored to be part of that Inter SPAC project, maybe, but even he's not really been convinced of that either. So that the moment you've seen all the clubs that are being bought, if it's not a Saudi or Qatari billionaire, it's these venture funds like AC Milan. They're now owned by Elliott Management Fund. Into the one offer that came in was from BC Partners, another investment fund. That's how football is moving. These companies that are looking to invest big in sports and football, they are there for the profit. They're not there to try win trophies and things. So that's just how football is moving. The Morattis of the world that would go into thousands and thousands of losses and losing money every year just to have their pet project on the side. That doesn't really exist anymore in football, apart from the Man Cities and PSGs of the world. So yeah, just a quick touch on that whole Moratti thing. Late to the stream, by the Roma fan, how are you feeling about the potential of Dzeko signing for Inter? We'll touch on that, Tristan. Sorry, I just gotta go step by step. So quickly on the Lautaro thing. Lautaro, for now, I mean, as I said, I struggle to believe anything now because of how everything has been going. But his agent, luckily, we've been asking for people to speak out. Romelu Lukaku, please speak out. Or his agent, someone speak out. Marotta, but here, speaking to FC Inter 1908, his agent, Lautaro's agent, what's his name? Camaño something? What does it say? It? Yeah, Alejandro Camaño, who was also Hakimi's agent. He says, the offer of Tottenham, no, Lautaro is an Inter player. He's happy in Italy. And then talking about his contract renewal, Lautaro is an Inter player. He will never have a fight with the club. Never. This is the reality. So very short, very sweet. And it seems like he's talking about, they are going to try to renew the contract. That's what he wants to do. Lautaro wants to stay. And then there's been confirmation from Di Marzio, Fabrizio Romano, a few reports as well, some other sources that I speak to as well, that Inter, now that Lukaku has been sold, do not want to sell Lautaro. But how can we believe these guys? That's the thing now. We're struggling as Inter fans. They said this is about Lukaku when the Chelsea offer first came in, the 100 million Alonso, whatever it was, the initial offer. They said Lukaku is untouchable. Marotta, even a few weeks, if you remember, I even did a stream. I started off the stream saying, Marotta's said Lukaku is untouchable. He's staying, all this. And then Lukaku came in, spoke to Inzaghi. Everything looked good. But football is such an unpredictable business. And at the moment, the way Suning are, as we were saying, the hot fire sale, happy, was it Black Friday sale that Inter are putting up, it's hard to believe that, if the right offer comes along for Lautaro, these guys won't sell Lautaro. But what do you guys think? Like, would you sell, let's say Spurs come in for Lautaro, 70 million now, straight up cash, or 80 million. Would you sell him? What are you guys saying? Because I know everyone was everybody's happy to stay and everybody's happy to go as well. Yeah, everyone will say that Lukaku was happy to stay, but then everyone seems to be happy to go as well. Like Hakimi, same thing. He was happy to stay, but then yesterday he scored his first goal in Ligue 1 as well. Nice goal, by the way. More pain for us. And then he was happy to leave as well. As Victor says, Fabrizio Romano and Camaño said ain't happening. Besides Rom moving to Chelsea is one thing. Chelsea are UCL champions. Spurs are in the Conference League. Yeah, that was the thing when we spoke about the Lautaro to Arsenal rumors. I mean, for Lautaro, it makes no sense at all. You've just won the Scudetto. Chelsea is a different matter because Chelsea, there's a variety of factors. Where Lukaku, it was the kind of the revenge or redemption story. salary being almost doubled, the trophy, potential as well. But when you go to Spurs, first of all, there's no trophy potential. Yes, salary might increase a little bit, but Spurs are not usually ones to blow out because they have a pretty strict salary uh, thing. Like Daniel Levy's pretty strict with the salary cap in the Spurs squad, so they don't really blow you out the water. So doesn't make too much sense for Lautaro. And yeah, like they finished what, 8th, 7th last year, 7th, sorry, and then they're going to play in the Conference League. Like, I mean, for Cristiano Romero, that's a different factor because you're going from Atalanta. Yes, Atalanta doing well the last few seasons, but they pay peanuts, and there's levels to the game. Inter still have that power, at least for now. For now, anyway. Lautaro is sold for 80 million. That's what I'm saying, guys. I'm sure they mean like then they know they don't want to sell Lautaro, but I think if 80 million offer comes in, I've always said this. Everyone always says like, "Oh, we should have sold Lautaro instead of Lukaku," but there's never been a proper offer for Lautaro on the table apart from that weird, crappy Barcelona one from last season. But that was bad offer. But if someone comes in with 80 million now, it's gonna be hard to say no. Even for me, like I don't want Lautaro to go. Like I like Lautaro more than a lot of Inter fans. A lot of Inter fans seem to kind of not like him because he's not very clinical and he's kind of got these ups and downs. But I just love his playing style and all these kind of things. But if someone comes in for 80, but he can't just like sell the whole team. Like still, like as I was saying with the Lukaku thing, it might make sense financially to sell him, but you can't just sell every person. Surely, like you have to have some sort of limit. You can't just clear out everyone. You're not Borussia Dortmund or Sevilla, like these types of teams where you can just bend over. You have to show some sort of strength and power in terms of being able to keep players and show that there is a project there. People in China can sell their own kids. Hey man, I don't want to talk about this kind of stuff because I'm not familiar with what happens in China. It's a country that maybe one day I would like to visit. Lautaro gets his chance to be the face of Inter, should embrace this. Yeah, that's a good point. I think Lautaro is probably now going to be the poster boy for Inter. That was definitely Lukaku before, but now it's going to be, LM10, the real LM10. Now that Messi is gone, the one and only LM10. Lautaro Martinez, who's already a pretty marketable player, had a great Copa America campaign, so he's big in South America. He has got quite a marketable. He's not like the most good-looking player, but he's got quite a marketable face. He's got the tattoos. He's got a bit of style. He's got a bit of flair. So yeah, he's definitely. I think he's going to be the poster boy. I won't, but they will. Mateo says, "Don't sell him." Has to. That's the reality now. Whoa, yeah. Nope. You need at least one of the core players in attack. I agree, Costa. I think you have to try to keep at least some sort of the core from last year. I know maybe you could have a slow rebuilding process, but you can't just do it in one season, like in one transfer window. Pow, not selling Manoin for 70. Can't trust Suning. Yeah, that's the problem. As Parameshwar says. By the way, check out the guys at the Solo Inter podcast. Palm is a member of that, and they did an episode talking about this stuff just a couple of days ago. So check them out. But he just can't. I'm just losing. No, because we can't sell every striker. Yeah, Simone, exactly. You can't. You're gonna end up with like leaving Satriano and Pinamonti there, like. And that's the other reason we just don't have faith in the reinvestment as well. That's the issue at the moment we're having. We'll be happy, like when Inter used to sell players. When we sold Ibrahimovic, we brought in 40 million plus Eto. When Milito, when we had Ricardi coming in the past, we sold Vieri, we sold Ronaldo, but we always had great choice of a number 9. We sold Crespo to Chelsea, we sold Vieri, we sold Adriano left. We've always had a good number 9s, but now it's just the doubt is like, can we trust these guys to actually reinvest the money that we're going to get from these players, or are they just going to go back to paying the debt, the loan? Let's not forget, guys, a lot of people are thinking that Zuning going to pocket these the profits from these, but that's not the issue. The issue is that they're actually just going out to pay the bond that we just took out, the 300 million loan from Oak Tree that we have to pay back in 3 years with interest every season. So they could be just going straight to pay off that, at an earlier stage or something, or try to, put that money to the side already to make sure that that loan is paid off. Because if Suning don't pay that off, let's not forget Oak Tree can take control from Suning, as Elliot did with AC Milan. Yong Hong Lee, the AC Milan Chinese owner, who had similar issues, but he was shady before. As soon as he came in, at least Suning there's been a clear plan from the beginning. There was clear money being funneled in. The Scudetto is there, guys, but Yong Hong Lee, he was very shady, very fraudy. Yeah, he defaulted on his payments. Elliot come in and took control, and this is what could happen with Inter and Oak Tree, the company that loaned into the 250, 300 million. But that's not what we want. We don't care about that stuff, do we, as fans? We want to see that money being reinvested into the club, into the player, into the playing staff. And I think this is where people are frustrated with Suning now, and I'm getting frustrated with Suning. Yeah, and that's probably, I think this is what everything is building up to now, is Suning selling into, like, I think they just have to now. You're in so much trouble everywhere else in your own business at home. You should just focus on that. Like, let Inter go now. In the past, there, that BC Partners offer, it was a bit of a low ball offer according to Suning. But now, if you're moving like this, you're not going to get those types of offers again. So, you kind of, it's a lose-lose situation there. So you maybe you should have took the offer from BC Partners, or whatever offer comes up now. I think it just makes sense, because if you're not able to invest, if you're having to sell the whole squad, I think it just makes sense to sell, cut your losses, and kind of just sell, man. I think that's what makes sense. You're losing the fan base as well. The trust in the fan base is going, and I think that's what makes sense. I'll sell Lautaro for 100 million as long as the money. Yeah, that's the problem, Cartel. We just don't have faith. Even if we sell Lautaro for 150 million, it just seems like Suning will use most of that again to just, settle off their debts somewhere else, or in the the loan that they've taken out, or something like that. Like, the faith in the Suning project is just going. And is there even a Suning project anymore? And I'm gonna look at Marotta and Auxilio now, because they were supposed to extend. Both of them were supposed to extend their contract by 2 more years. So Marotta and Auxilio, the CEO and the sporting director, both of their contract expires at the end of the next season, and there was a verbal agreement in place already to extend it by another 2 years. But I'm gonna see now, like, Marotta, like, he's not gonna be happy now. He wants to keep Lukaku. There was talk that Marotta tried to convince Steven Zhang to keep Lukaku, to show him, like, look, if we sell Lukaku, yes, we'll make lots of money, but what if we lose out on the top 4 spot? What if we lose that Champions League money? Like, think of that. You could lose out on so much revenue because of that. But it seems like in the end, it didn't work. And why would you work somewhere where you clearly, things are going against what you want them to do? And that's why he left Juventus. They said Marotta left Juventus because he didn't want the Ronaldo deal. He felt like that was unsustainable. That wasn't what he wanted the Juventus team to turn into. But that was an Agnelli move, the owner of Juventus, who wanted to pull that off. And Paratici, and then Marotta left. So you could see something like that happening, and then I would be really worried. The reason why I'm still having faith in this is because Marotta is still there. He is, for me, is still the best, CEO that you could have in Italian football. For me, if he's at the helm of the ship, I still have faith. Auxilio, he's been hit and miss in his time at Inter, but at least he's been there a long time. He's an Interista. Those two guys, if they stay there, I feel more confident in the project. But if those two leave, or even just Marotta leaves, I'm starting to get worried, guys. And I think you guys should be worried as well. Oriali already has left, and he had some disagreements with Suning, clearly, after the Conte debacle. Conte left, as we know. Lukaku has left. Hakimi's left. Like, it's very worrying time, guys. It's very worrying time. But the Black Friday sale has to end somewhere, and I just can't wait till this transfer window ends, man. This might be the worst transfer window of all time as an Inter fan. Really, honestly, it might be the worst. Sign him up on a new deal, says Ivar. I think they are going to try it now. I think that's the next move now, to make Lautaro the poster boy, make him the main man of the team. And yeah, sign. They can give him the money. He's asking for almost Lukaku money, so he wants around 5-6 million net per year. Inter were offering around 4.5. I think if they meet halfway, 5 million, give him the money he wants. He deserves it for his performances last 2 years, especially now with Lukaku leaving. Give him the money that he wants. And let's move on. At least keep some sort of core to this team and keep some dignity, guys. Let's just keep some dignity. Like, I'm getting messages from my friends, like, Premier League fans from here in England were asking me, like, what's going on at Inter? Like, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Yeah, we've talked about this with Gosh. Like, Serie A in general is the Premier League power at the moment. Like, we're like little fishes, and the Premier League is the apex predator, the sharks of the footballing world. PSG and Premier League clubs are the sharks. There was a graph I saw the other day. Literally, only PSG and Premier League clubs are the only ones that have spent this transfer window. Serie A are actually in a deficit, is a minus. So most of the money has flown out of Serie A and League On and La Liga. Ligue 1 actually is plus just because of PSG. So it is what it is. But yeah, and speaking of all of that, I'll show some of you guys comment about the Inter Ultras. I was expecting a little bit more, to be honest. I remember I've been cooked on social media recently because I made that warning to Suning. It was like, watch out. If you saw Lukaku, there will be riots outside your Inter HQ. And the riots was like a guy with a piece of A4 paper saying, Lukaku non si tocca, don't touch Lukaku. And a few more banners here and there, but not particularly, not a riot, definitely, or nothing revolutionary. But today, Inter are playing 5 p.m. I believe it is. Was it 6 p.m. UK time? I think 6 p.m. UK time. Inter playing Parma at Parma friendly, and there's 500 Inter fans or Inter Ultras that are going to be doing a demonstration against Suning, against the sale of Lukaku, against the whole movement, against the whole how Inter have been doing this summer in terms of selling players. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing like how that is going to be. I hope it's not aimed. I hope they keep it away from the stadium in terms of from the players. I don't want the players to be, attacked by this or like felt like they're threatened by these guys. It has to be aimed at the directors, at the ownership, specifically, to China, to Steven Zhang and co Suning the ownership, because at the end of the day, Marotta and Ozilio don't. At the moment, they're not at fault for this. They're just having to do what their boss tells them to do. So yeah, there is something going on in terms of demonstration, and hopefully, I mean, I don't know how much power really that would have, how much effect that will have, but you have to do something, right? You can't just stay silent. So I'm happy something is being done. Bilal Mirza, my guy, coming in. Yes, everyone is happy to stay because of Scudetto, but if the club steps forward to not clearly say player isn't for sale and is negotiating with the club, the player will obviously consider that. Yeah, that as well. That's what happened with Lukaku. He would have been happy to stay, but then when they say like Lukaku, look, offers here, what do you think, mate? Obviously his head's gonna be turned. No chance Lautaro's girl wants to leave Milan for London. Shit weather, shit food, she'll lose it. Hey, we always say that, but look how many Argentinians and Brazilians are in the Premier League now. Money talks, mate. Money talks, Antonio. But yeah, I'm sure Lautaro's girl is probably not going to be the happiest. But these guys can catch private flights to wherever they want, man. Every weekend, they can do what they want. It's a different life. Paratici being there is a huge factor. I mean, yeah, I guess because he can speak Italian to him is a big factor, but I wouldn't say. It depends. I wouldn't say he's much of a pull factor. It more depends on who the coach is there and the project. Next summer we get Haaland. Yeah, after Messi we get Haaland. Uncle, are there any other players besides Vlahovic you would like to replace Lukaku? Yeah, we can get to that. Yeah, let's get to that. Let's talk about the rumors about who's coming in, who's coming out. Look at Juve with Chiesa. I'm guessing you're talking about the offer that Juve got for Chiesa, but yeah, I don't know how real, how proper that offer was, because I don't see it was a Chelsea offer, but Chelsea don't really have a like for Chelsea there was a clear need for a number 9. Like they wanted Haaland, but Dortmund wanted too much plus their Mino tax. But with Chiesa, there was a rumor that Chelsea coming in, but I don't see like they've got many wingers already, Chelsea, and I don't know if someone comes in with 100 million cash offer for Juve, I would like to see it, Robbie Combs. If Juve don't stumble, I would like to see it, because we've seen as we they're struggling to get. There's been a whole month that they're trying to meet with Locatelli for lunch with Sassuolo. Every other day I'm reading new meeting Locatelli, lunch meeting plan for Cherubini and Carnevali, the CEO of Sassuolo, and nothing moves. Loan with a option to buy offer with 5 million, this like, you guys are struggling to put money together for a guy that usually Juve would have snapped up before the Euros. You guys on a normal window would have had this guy snapped up like you did with Kulusevski and other guys in the past, but at the moment you just haven't got that financial juice like many other Serie A clubs. Yeah, I agree, Bilal. You have to have a backbone. And Lukaku was that type of player. Lautaro has that potential. But I don't know if our club is aspiring to win titles anymore. That's the project. That's the thing that we're struggling with now. Are we? Is that project still there? As long as Camano is his agent, everything's possible. Yeah, I wouldn't put. That's what I said. I don't put too much trust in those words from his agent. Yes, he said that he's staying, but if they don't come to an agreement for a contract, if someone comes in with a spicy offer, he's gone. He's gone. Triano Pina, the starting forwards next season. Hey, that's as long as they communicate with us, guys. Like if Marotta comes out, Zhang says we're going for like a Primavera FC type project, like AC Milan kind of did last season. Apart from Ibra and a few guys here and there. Low average age, like this kind of project. I'll be on board with that if they're just clear about it, that we're not going for the title. We're just going to go for top four. We're going for a youthful project. Just say it. That's what we're doing. But don't leave us hanging that we're still, going to try for defend the Scudetto. The second star mission is still ongoing. We're going to try do this, that. No, just be clear. The project is over. You're not going to try to win. You're just trying to cut your losses. And I'd be happy with that as long as I just want clarity with what's going on. I don't want to be lied to anymore. No more lies. Hey, Zanetti, I don't know how much really power that guy has in our club, bro. The guy, whenever you ever heard him say anything that's at important times, whenever you ever heard him say something that's a clear statement, he's vice president, but I don't really know how much power he has at the club, how much actual say he has at the club. Maybe yes, in personal relationship with players, he's definitely useful. I think he was very useful to attract Lautaro in the first place as well. But in the end, he was there when the whole Icardi thing was going on. Players make the decisions themselves. Like Zanetti was an idol to Lautaro at some point, but at some point, Lautaro now is a fully fledged, big player himself. He doesn't probably see Zanetti in the same light. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, let's talk about the replacement. So as you guys know, my choice is Dusan Vlahovic. I've tweeted about it. I've been on the Vlahovic train for a long time, for like 2 years. Even before that guy kicked the ball in Serie A, I don't know. I just saw something in that guy that tingled me. I don't know. It is something about that guy. His left foot, his physique, his the way he plays. It was just something. But I'm seeing you guys. The rumors. There was talk of Vlahovic, but the main number one target, according to Di Marzio and other sources, is Duvan Zapata. But today, let me pull it up. Edin Dzeko, and there was a Roma fan. I don't know if you're still here, mate. We'll talk about the question that you asked about what do we guys think about Edin Dzeko. So Di Marzio says Edin Dzeko has agreed contract offer from Inter. So Dzeko is 35 years old now, and if you guys remember, last January, there was that talk about him and Sanchez doing a swap deal. Remember, because Dzeko fell out with Fonseca halfway through the season. His captaincy was removed from him. Sanchez was, wanting more playing time and that kind of stuff, and it didn't happen in the end. And then Conte wanted him when he came in as well, like alongside Lukaku. He wanted him to be the backup to Lukaku, but also, from what I read, he actually wanted a Lukaku-Dzeko partnership up front, which would have been interesting, like two big guys up front together. Didn't quite work out once again. But once again, the Dzeko train is hyping up. And according to Di Marzio, a 2-year contract has been agreed. And there was direct contact between the clubs yesterday to talk about it. And I think it would be on a free transfer. So it would be like, how Inter have let João Mario go. So Roma, just because Dzeko earns as much as Lukaku earns at Inter, 7.5 million net. He's the highest paid player, and they don't want that type of salary on their books. I think Mourinho would be happy to keep him, but Roma, as the club financially, they would be very happy to get rid of him. So I think, in that sense, is a smart deal to make, just because you're able to get someone straight away to cover the gap. But it's Edin Dzeko at 35 years old. I've always been a fan of Edin Dzeko. I've always felt like he's been an underrated player for his whole career. Like his record at Man City. You talk to Man City fans, they've always really liked Dzeko. He's very underrated because he always had to bide his time behind, Aguero and Tevez. He was always like not always first choice. And then even at Roma, a Roma team that hasn't won anything, he's always been kind of carrying them. There's been a few seasons where he's been scoring crazy amount of goals, but to no avail. His link-up play has always been really, really good. Like, he's been one of the best target men of this generation in terms of like that. He's a big guy, 193 centimeters, like 6'3", big, strong, but his touch is really good, very classy, scores different types of goals. Obviously, he never had much pace, but he's lost all his pace. But it's just not exciting, is it? Like, yeah, I'm seeing you guys, the comments. It doesn't stir you from the inside, does it? You go from Lukaku to Dzeko. It wouldn't be just Dzeko, by the way. Dzeko is the one they're doing, as the deal right now, but they're still talking about Duvan Zapata. But that's the thing, Mohamed. I think is spot on. He's class, but he's a huge downgrade. 2 years ago, we were linked with him as the Lukaku backup, so that says everything. When he was better and still, younger, he was being touted as the backup to Lukaku, and now he's 35 after a bad season where he only scored, I think, 7 goals last season in the league. And now he's been talked about coming in to replace Lukaku, not back up Lukaku. So that's the issue I have with this. It's it just feels like a big step back, doesn't it? 5 years back, Dzeko would have been a good deal. But then this is also a very good point, which he's a very valid substitute. He's not like a Pinamonti that you're gonna bring on and you can't expect much. When you bring on Dzeko, you're expecting, you can throw some balls up in the air, you can throw some balls at his chest that he's gonna win some fouls, win some headers, be an aerial threat, create goals. He's very good with his feet. He's very good at linking up play. Like, there's some sort of guarantee that you can have with Dzeko coming in, physically, mentality-wise as well. He's won things in the past. He's an upgrade from Pinamonti for sure. But is that really the guy that we need? Does Inzaghi want to play the same way that Conte played with a target man, as Indrahari alludes to here? We've seen Lazio, Immobile. He doesn't play as with his back to goal. He plays facing the goal. Caicedo maybe plays a little bit more like that. But is that the way that Inzaghi wants his striker to play? So these are the kind of questions. These are the kind of questions that I have for this Dzeko deal. But overall, if it's a free transfer, and I heard that he's got that 7.5 million net salary, but he's gonna spread that over the 2 years at Inter. So he's gonna earn 7.5 million at Inter, but over 2 years. So it's gonna be like what, 3.25 or whatever it works out as. So yeah, overall, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, guys. It's not the end of the world. You get an experienced backup who's got crazy amount of experience in Premier League, Serie A, proven goal scorer. That he had a bad he wasn't that good last season. But let's not forget, as I said, he fell out with Fonseca. That Roma team was kind of dysfunctional as well. and it's hard to be motivated. It looks like he was kind of phoning in his performances at Roma towards the end, because after you've been stripped of captaincy, ask Mauro Icardi, he's not very. It's hard to kind of be like a leader for your team, or being like perform well for your club. So I'm not too sad about this. It's just as long as he's not the main replacement. If Suning tell me like, yeah, this is the guy, this is the Lukaku replacement, then no. Yeah, we're getting questions about Vlahovic. So Vlahovic, I have heard from reputable sources that Inter actually do. They actually did try for Vlahovic, and they were sent back straight back home. Like they had contact with Fiorentina for Vlahovic, but obviously Vlahovic now, Fiorentina is like 2 weeks or something to the start of the season. They know we're desperate. It's going to be very hard to happen, but it's possible. I wouldn't rule it out. I know a lot of people are saying that, and obviously I'm losing faith in Suning, but the boy earns 400k at the moment at the Fiorentina because he hasn't signed a new contract yet. They're talking about potentially renewing his contract at Fiorentina, but if you go in, stir the pot a little bit, show his agent like, we'll give you 3, 4, 5 million net a season, Vlaho. Come to Inter. You're the face of the project with Lautaro. You and Lautaro are going to be our boys. You're going to be the new Lula or Luva or whatever. We'll have to find a new name for these guys. Vlalu. No, Vlala. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, yeah, you stir the pot with the agent. You show him the money on the table. He puts up a bit of a hissy fit, like Chiesa did, to go to Juventus. At the end of the day, Fiorentina are not going to have much choice to try let him go. And, and that's a lot of money for them as well. If you get 50, 60 million for Vlahovic, and that's the budget that apparently Inter have made available for Marotta and Ozilio to find a replacement or to complete the team as well. So out of the 115 million that we're Inter going to get, we're not even going to get half of it to reinvest. I think it's possible, but I'm not pinning my hopes on it. But he is my number one. He's my number one choice. He is my number one choice. Bring Vlahovic to Inter. Dusan Vlahovic, not Duvan Zapata. Dusan, not Duvan. But if it is Duvan Zapata, again, I know he's not the yeah, good point, Harry. If we survive the Ronaldo R9 in 2012, we can survive anything. Yeah, I think I've been seeing a lot of slander towards Zapata, but as Wayne says, when you look at numbers, straight up numbers, he has not done bad at all. In fact, he's done very well, Zapata, at Atalanta. He's got very similar numbers to Lukaku. Physically, I mean, obviously, it's a little bit, feels like I'm talking like a 12-year-old, but you can just see physically, he's pretty much, the carbon copy of Lukaku. Physically, he's a beast. Like, you touch him and you go flying. He's a 90 kilograms of pure muscle. But also style-wise as well, yes, the Atalanta system is different. The Gasperini system is different. There's always talk of the Atalanta Gasperini tax as well, that when players leave that system, they always struggle. But we saw at the Euros this year, and with other players that leaving, that are starting to do well, that maybe that thing isn't a real thing anymore. I think the main stumbling block with people have is his age and the price tag. So if you bring in a guy for 40, 50 million at 30 years old, the resale value is very low. And with Atalanta, it's going to be difficult to negotiate with them because they already sold Cristian Romero. So they don't really have, financially, they're already quite comfortable. They're one of the Italian clubs that are well run. So it's a difficult deal to hash out in terms of that. And money-wise, yes, it makes no sense financially. You spend 40 million on a 30-year-old, it makes no sense. But I think you have to look at it in now, short term. Who can you bring in right now to fix the Lukaku hole? And I think that's how Inter are moving. I think Vlahovic, for me, I would go for the Vlahovic, because for me, if maybe he doesn't give you the same impact straight away, but you give him 1 or 2 seasons and he can get to that level. I see Vlahovic reaching those Lukaku levels if not even surpassing those Lukaku levels. I have that much faith in Vlahovic. But with Zapata, you have to think about it. This guy has been scoring, good numbers for Atalanta for a few seasons now. He was actually my pick when Inter signed Lukaku, because as I keep saying, I didn't think Inter had the juice. I didn't think we had the money to spend 75 on Lukaku back then. I said, go for Duvan Zapata, who is a very similar profile, stat-wise, the way he plays as well. He already knows how to play back to goal, which is something that Lukaku had to learn how to play. So 2 years ago, I was already pushing for Zapata. And again, back then, they were talking about 40, 50 million. And now his value has kind of remained. So I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be sad if Zapata is the guy who comes in to replace, Zapata, Dzeko. Plus, if Lautaro remains, and you still have Alexis Sanchez or Satriano there, as that's a good quartet when you think about it. That's still a strong forward lineup. You just obviously lose the Lukaku downgrade is massive, but then you've upgraded from the Pinamonti there, and you have Dzeko and Zapata fighting out for one spot, who you can bring in on depending on the different type of match. And Zapata also gives you that raw pace and power that Lukaku had. Not at the same level. He doesn't have that same speed and 1v1 ability that Lukaku has. But overall, I wouldn't be too sad, guys. But financially, it makes no sense to me. And it doesn't sound like a Marotta move as well. Like, Marotta is investing 40 million in a 30-year-old player. That's not something I would associate with him doing. But I think he has to panic because there's not much time left, guys. There's 2 weeks to start the season. Inzaghi needs a replacement and someone needs to come in quickly. And I think it is a little bit panic station. And I think they're going to try to go for Zapata, but I think they will also try for Vlahovic again. I've been told that Inter will try for Vlahovic again. Dzeko will be earning 5.5 million a season, so red. Yeah, okay, that is a little bit expensive as well. But again, it's panic stations at the moment. As I said, you just got to bring in someone, and if it is 5.5 million, it's expensive for a 35-year-old. That is expensive, because I was hoping around the third. What I read was that he's spreading his salary over 2 years, but 5.5 is that's expensive. Now I'm starting to doubt it, because they already were trying to reduce the wage bill at Inter, which obviously is going to happen now that Lukaku is left. But if you're bringing in a guy for 5.5, and then Zapata's going to earn around a similar kind of amount as well, because obviously he's going to ask for a substantial raise from his Atalanta salary. So then you're not really reducing the wage budget anyway. And that's the issue as well at the moment. there's a how many strikers there that you can name that are really top quality strikers. Is a dying breed, number nines, as we've seen in the Euros. A lot of teams play with false nines. Even if you play with a number 9, Harry Kane for England, he basically played like a false 9. Immobile, he played a false 9 in a different way because he's just a false player. But jokes aside, he is a dying position, like a proper number 9. So it's difficult to find players in that position in general. So whoever you're going to find, you're going to have to overpay. Inter won't find a replacement for the goals, assists from Lukaku. They need to find a complement to Lautaro. Yeah, I think that's the thing. That's the thing. Do you have to really find someone that's exactly like Lukaku? Because is Inzaghi going to play it the same way that Conte made him play? Or is Inzaghi going to try to play how he made Immobile play? So that's the thing. It does. With the Zapata thing, it seems like Inzaghi wants to continue the same style of play of someone who's able to play with back to goal, that physical number 9. But there's other ways to go around it. As we saw, with Inter, I always called it the midget number 9 combination of the two false 9s. When Inter play with Alexis and Lautaro, yes, it definitely wasn't as good as Lautaro Lukaku, but it was better than when Alexis and Lukaku played. You could also move up with Lautaro to be that main guy, which you shouldn't discount. We're talking about bringing in Joaquin Correa as well. You could make Lautaro the main number 9, move him into the Lukaku position, but we've seen he's not as comfortable there. And I think he plays off best as being the one playing off the main guy rather than being the main guy. But you have to think about this. There's different combinations. You have to think differently now, because let's not forget, like, remember, guys, when Spalletti was there, we thought that there was no other way to play. It was like cross it, inshallah, to Icardi. It was like the team was built to do that. Candreva, Perisic, Politano, just lobbing balls into Icardi, and that was how we played, and that's how it worked. But then Conte came in, changed everything up, and now everything was geared towards Lukaku. Everything, little balls into Lukaku. Lukaku holds it up, passes it into one of the midfielders or the wing back, and then now we start playing. And now it might be time to, that cycle's ended, that 2-year cycle now. Now we have to think of a different way, and it probably is, maybe it's not in the same way. And yeah, maybe someone won't come in playing 24, 25 goals plus 10 assists like Lukaku did. But I think goal-wise, you can find people that can score that many goals. But the way Lukaku completed his game with the goals, with the assists, with the leadership, with the off the field, with the on the field, the mentality, that's those intangibles that Lukaku started to add to the game. That's where we can't replace him. But goals-wise, I feel like the amount of chances in to create, especially with Inzaghi, there will be a more attacking outlook as well. Straight numbers-wise, I think you can find players that will replace him. And age-wise, guys, 30 years old is not too old. Look at, okay, Lukaku was in his 28, so he was in his prime. But who was the top scorer in the Serie A last year? Cristiano Ronaldo. Past seasons as well, Quagliarella, Luca Toni being top scorer in the Serie A as well. Mertens still does very well for Napoli when he's fit, and he's in his late 30s now. In the Premier League, Jamie Vardy's, he's in his early 30s. Aubameyang is in his early 30s. He only won the Golden Boot, not last season, but the season before. Suarez in La Liga last year, leading them to the title. Like, age now, like, players are their peak lasts a lot longer, especially if you look after yourself physically. Football is changing a little bit. Before past, when players are in the 30s, that's it. You have a few years and that's it. That you end up, it's changing a little bit. Dzeko didn't have a great season, but he was still one of the leaders for Roma from the front. When Immobile for Lazio, he's 30, 31 years old now. Like, age now, I wouldn't take it too much. It's more the financial thing that you're bringing in a 30 years old, so you're not going to have much of a resale value there. So we'll see, but I wouldn't look too much into the age factor. Yeah, that's the thing. We're waiting for the director to speak as well. We're waiting for, and that's one of the issues I've had with Suning from the beginning. There's this Chinese way of doing things. It's very little communication, very little press releases and things like that. But we need something. Inter fans need something, and I hope today, before the Parma game, someone is interviewed, someone comes out and talks about it, or talks about the fan protest that will be happening as well, things like that. Finishing off the Nandes thing. So Nandes, let me get the article up. Nandes actually didn't turn up to training, and for her, he's pushing. So this is what we hope Vlahovic or someone does for us later. So he's not turned up for a friendly, Nandes. So he's really pushing for a move to Inter. So this one is literally going to happen, has to happen soon. As the sporting director says, did not show up for the appointment to depart for Mallorca, and this was without permission from the club. The director also suggested that the 25-year-old action could backfire and make President Giulini even more reluctant to release him to Inter. But yeah, he's just saying that now because, obviously he is disrespectful to Cagliari. But these guys are like, arguing us with over 2-3 million. Like, just let the move happen. Take Nainggolan, man. Let us have Nandes and we can go back to our business, man. Like, you guys are just dragging your heels. It's not going to help anyone. Just make it happen, man. Just make it happen. Suning out as a hashtag I'm seeing a lot building up recently. Ian, hope you're doing well, man. This club is bad for your health, man. It is, man. But saying that, in an hour or so, I'm going to tune into this friendly against Parma. They have a strong hold on my heart. there's nothing we can do, man. As much as you might say like, oh, boycott this, boycott that, I'm gonna watch this club even if it goes down to Serie C, Serie D. This is just how it is. But yeah, guys, that was it for today. Talking about this Inter fire sale that might be happening, might not be happening. Loads of you today. I loved it today, man. This is going to be one of the most active streams that I've ever had. So many people before the stream even started. Even now, 78 people in the stream. Make sure, guys, you leave a thumbs up before you leave the stream, man. It just helps with the channel, the growth. Comment in the sections below if you're watching this afterwards, after the live stream. Devashish, man, come on. You don't want to support this club anymore. As Harry says, some people that are much older than me have been through when Ronaldo R9 left this club, when Eto'o left this club, when Ibrahimovic left this club, when Crespo left this club. Guys, there's been much worse going on at Inter. Like, we've just been through a banter era. Do you guys not remember? So we're gonna support this club, guys. Let's not exaggerate. We've been through worse things, but I am losing faith in the ownership for sure. I'm losing faith in Suning and the way things are being done at the club, definitely. But I'm still gonna watch this team. I'm gonna support these guys. The players are not at fault for this. I'm gonna support these players. Lukaku was Conte's guy. Who is Limone's guy? We'll have to find out. It might be Satriano. It could be Satriano. You never know. You could be. But we'll find out. That's why I want to watch these friendlies. I want to see the tactical change. It could be Hakan. Hakan could be the guy. You never know. As much as you wanna clown him, Linsti, you wanna clown him. You never know. Thank you guys for joining as well. As I said, guys, if you want to support the channel, I've opened up memberships to the channel. I've had a few people joining up already. Your donations are going straight to the Pupi Foundation, which is the charity run by Javier Zanetti. For your first month's payment, the £3 goes straight to that charity. Because I wanna do something good with this channel as well. And then if you want to support the channel going forward as well, you get emojis, you get badges when you interact with me on here. You'll have a special thing that will come up to say that you're a member of the channel. I've created special badges and things that show that you're a member of the club, but whatever. No big deal. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Utkarsh. Thank you every single person that joined up on this another kind of a therapy session, isn't it? These streams are turning into therapy sessions to me, to unload with you guys and you guys to unload onto me and have your banter and back and forth in the channel, in the comment section, which is always funny. And always, credit to you guys. There's never like, in other streams, I always see like, abuse or racism and things. So shouts out for you guys for being a very, you're a good community in this channel. So shouts out to you guys, man. Like, no stupid comments and like, spam and crap like that. And I really appreciate you guys for that. So great community, you guys. Love you all. Forza Inter. Let's beat Parma and see what's going on with our club. And hopefully no more pain going forward. But don't have too much hope. But fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed.